too wet, that won't work.
It's been raining and snowing lately, so everything's really wet around here. Make it a bit of a challenge to find anything dry. Look at this. That right there, that bird's nest, would be perfect. Ah, God. But it's too wet, so we're gonna have to get creative. I could have probably used that, but I won't. This is interesting. There's some type of pond out here. I didn't see this on the map. Almost be a good spot for a tent here. Way too much of a slant for me though. You would have a gorgeous location. I don't even see anywhere to string a hammock, so this is a no-go for me. Unfortunate demise. Kind of eyeballing this right here. It's some bark that's literally just hanging from this branch. Because it's been hanging and elevated off the ground, it feels dry enough. I don't feel any moisture in that. I do feel a little bit, but it's pretty dry, so I think I'm gonna take some. I'm kind of iffy about that, but if there's anything drier we find, we'll just replace it. This right here is a really, really good camp spot. I would almost want to bet somebody's camped here before, but without any evidence of a fire ring, it's always hard to say. It is good though. It's nice, open, clear. No big trees to fall on you, protected from wind. It's not bad. This is kind of unusual. Apparently stumbled across a road out here. Oh God. That felt good. That felt good. I didn't see any private property signs anywhere out here. Anywhere. So I'm not sure what this is. I thought it was on public land. Keep going here and it looks like this was some type of old access road that has long since, judging by the amount of growth here, been abandoned. I'd say there's probably 20 years worth of growth, maybe. Hard to say exactly. There's where some deer were laying, you can kind of tell. Sure. This is a really fun find. So we have found some of the first plants of spring. You see these red flowers here? That red violet color helps to protect it from freeze, and it lets it survive in temperatures below freezing. That's kind of the point of that color. You know, I'm not a scientist, I can't tell you exactly how that works, but I do know that's the reason for it. Oh, and I also think I figured out that this is an old railroad track. It's caught my eye down here, and I wanted to take a look, see what it's all about. Nothing too interesting though. Just crumbling infrastructure. We'll keep moving. Think about finding a camp spot here. Alright guys, I think this looks like just about as good a place as any. We're elevated, so we're out of the valley, so all the cold air isn't going to sink on us. Up above, we have no widowmakers. And we have relatively open land, a view of the expanse. So I think this is going to be home. Okay, so for today's camp, we're gonna go with the Eno single nest hammock. pretty solid one-person hammock, and we're gonna go with some hammock straps. Kind of just, thought I heard a deer. Kind of just eyeing this tree. I'm liking the circumference of this, so I think we're definitely gonna go with that. And oh boy, probably go to this tree right here. This looks like a living tree, so I think this should do. Oh boy, but that tree there, it's not great. It's not ideal. Not ideal. Well, we could do this tree. This tree to that tree. There we go. That's what we'll do. That's about the right length, 10-12 feet, so we'll go with that. I have the hammock all set up now, but we have a new piece of gear we're testing on the channel, and for me, I've never used this before. Bought this with my own money. It's an Eno under-quilt, built for 40 degrees. It's gonna get well below 40 tonight. It's actually gonna get into the 20s, but I'm gonna use this and we're gonna see how it works out. So I've never set one up before, so this will be kind of interesting. I'm just gonna set up a time lapse because I've never set one up, so I'm not gonna act like I know what I'm doing. The setup process on this underquilt was extraordinarily simple. I did not read any direction when I set this up. It's got basically one hook here, this elastic band that I put through the carabiner, and it connects to two drawstrings here. You can kind of see them, I'm separating them. You can see the drawstrings go to both of these ends. It's got one adjuster here to tighten, one adjuster there to tighten, another adjuster at the bottom to tighten. On the other end, we got the same thing. Got one adjuster here, one adjuster there, another adjuster here. And we got a central loop to connect to the carabiner. So all in all, it took me about 3 minutes to set that up. It was very easy. So I think next we'll probably get the sleeping bag in there, pillow, and the blanket on top, and then we'll work on the hammock tarp because it's supposed to rain and snow tonight. So let's get started on that. This is really not the most prettiest tarp configuration. In fact, I'd say it's pretty bad. I can only hope it's enough to keep me dry though. I think it'll work. I mean, it should. As long as a bunch of wind and rain doesn't start blowing in from this direction, I think it'll be fine. This is a little bit more exposed than I'd like right there, but hammock's tucked away pretty far under the tarp that way, so that should be fine as well. I think it'll work. I'm actually getting pretty cold right now, so we're gonna start getting firewood ready and get a fire now because I'm cold and we need some heat. It's a lot colder than I anticipated. There's a lot of wind blowing up straight through here. There's kind of like a valley right below us. It's got to be about 20 degrees right now, so I think we're gonna get started on some wood. I picked to have my fire right here in front of this big tree because I want this to be a backer to reflect a bunch of the heat back towards me here, and it's gonna help to keep me quite a bit warmer than if I had just put it out in the open. There's gonna be a lot of wind coming through, so we're gonna try to conserve some of our heat. There's quite a bit of deadfall around here, so I don't have to actually cut wood to start a fire. I'm just gonna pick up a bunch of wood and throw it on. So we're gonna start it right now. All right, you can see that we have our shear lashing set up. So we have a tripod for hanging some water to boil and start cooking. Probably wondering where I've been a little bit. I haven't made many videos lately because I've been very busy with life, had some family obligations, and I entered the dating scene again after a couple of years of not really trying because I kind of figured I didn't want to be alone the rest of my life. As fun as it is going camping on these solo trips, kind of figured I'd like a missus to maybe join me or at least be there at home when I get back. Kind of give me something to look forward to. So, ooh, smoke. But I learned a lot of good things about myself in the last couple of weeks, in the last month, that I'm really excited to implement going forward. It's a lot to get into right now, but pretty excited for the future of my life, and I think it's gonna be pretty good. I'm gonna keep making these videos as long as I have no obligations, and so I don't have any this weekend, and we'll see about the next one. So really excited to get out because before all this dating stuff started, I spent about $200 on camping gear that I never got to use. So I'm pretty excited to use it tonight, finally getting to use it. And Ooh, gotta be careful of this fire. I don't want it to burn my lashings. Finally get to use it. We'll see how warm we stay with our whole hammock setup. Pretty excited to try that out. Yeah, this is getting warm. It's getting a little warm than I like. We'll let that bed of coals develop a little bit more before we start cooking on it. I just started the fire not that long ago, so we still have some time to develop coals. And kind of get dried out too. It's pretty wet out here. Okay, so for dinner, we're gonna have a flat iron Angus premium choice beef. It's about a half pound of pure beef, so this is gonna be really delicious. We're gonna be cooking it over a very, very simple grill, rack design, foldable rack, very portable, sturdy, cheap, and easy to pack. So we're just gonna put this down, show you where here in a second. We're gonna start cooking. This should be really good. I'm gonna move some coals over to the right here. I'm gonna literally do that right now. Get some coals in there. Don't need much. Kind of want some heat in there. We already got some heat coming from the fire right next to it. Just want a little bit under there too, though. Got plenty of coals now. We don't have to worry about using some. Definitely want to keep everything concentrated though. We're gonna put our Angus on the grill. Should be pretty good. All right, folks, time to dig in and enjoy here. This is already looking pretty good. Delectable. That really hits the spot out here. I'm gonna enjoy this and catch y'all in a few. Just finished that London broil and we got more food to go. We're not done. My doctor, he told me I need to eat more. Apparently he thinks I don't eat enough, so we're going to keep making some more food here. We got, ooh, that's looking really good. We got some more bacon to throw in there. Still got another ½ pound in that bag as well, but I don't think I'm gonna cook that. Possible chance of rain in the next hour, so hopefully not. I'm really not looking forward to that because it's going to be really cold rain because it's under 40 degrees. But we'll see if it happens. I got my whole bag laying out there, so obviously I have some equipment I'm going to maybe want to think about gathering up here. Threw my tripod down because the fire was getting a little too hot for it. Didn't want to burn it. We're going to eat that food and continue on with our journey here. See what happens. Just in case I forgot to say it, it is Saturday, March 23rd. The time is about 6:11 p.m. It's 38 degrees and it's about to rain in 10 minutes. According to the forecast, it's probably wrong though. And we're really enjoying that extra hour of sunlight right now. Definitely enjoying that extra hour. It probably won't be dark till 7. Feel that cold breeze coming in here. We're kind of chilling by this campfire here for warmth. I'm gonna eat that here in just a few. But yeah, it's gonna be dark soon. We definitely enjoyed a lot of extra light tonight though. Gonna be obviously hammock camping, but I'm gonna be hanging out by the fire here for most of the night. Till probably 11 is when I'm aiming to get in the hammock. Hopefully that stays warm. Got that under-quilt. I don't have a pad tonight. 6:30 out. I just finished eating about 1,500 calories. And as I was eating, I finally kind of looked up and noticed that it's getting a lot darker, so we're gonna lose light. I'd estimate 30 minutes. And then it's probably gonna get really cold. It never did end up raining, which is good for me because I still have my backpack laying out. Gotta get that under the tarp. A pretty successful session with the firewood, keeping the fire going. Fire's not keeping me as warm as I'd like right now. I'm kind of cold, not too miserably cold, just overall a little chilly. But the fire is keeping things bearable and warm. My next move is to get everything under the tent or tarp. You know what I mean. Kind of organize my camp. I'm done cooking for the most part. There's no longer going to be any big meals. There's not going to be a breakfast tomorrow because it will be downpouring tomorrow morning for sure around 8 a.m. So I'm not anticipating making any food. That's why I kind of went hard tonight. In fact, I'm still going to probably keep eating even more. But it won't be anything cooked. Here's an old camping trick I learned. Get some ashes. Dump them in there. Maybe stir them around a little bit. Get yourself a handful of leaves. Pour them in there. Start mixing them around. Certainly not perfect, but much, much cleaner than it was before. And that's pretty reasonable. That's pretty reasonable. We can work with something like that. Because all we gotta do is be able to pack that and get it home and just do a light wash when we get there. So that's an easy way of kind of keeping everything clean. It worked pretty well. Okay, so welcome back. It is getting to be the wee hours of the night. Light actually lasted a little bit longer than I thought it would out here. Surprised it's still dark, or yeah, surprised it's not dark out yet. I love this camp location. Even though there is a bit of a wind that blows through here, it's not bad at all. You can kind of huddle against this fire. And the tree is a backer for warmth. And I got my hammock set up over here. We haven't really spent a lot of time out in this. Mostly been hanging out by that fire. I mean, who wouldn't? That's probably the biggest tree here. I didn't really realize it, but those branches could potentially land on the hammock set up here. Time is rolling right along here. It is 7:56 p.m. I can't believe it. It actually stayed light till about 8 p.m. It's pretty crazy, but you can see, you can't see me, but you can see a little bit of dark, and there's the fire here. So we're probably going to be around this fire in the darkness for about 3 to 2 hours, at which point I'm going to go get cozy and test out that new underquilt I got. Pretty excited to see the results of that underquilt. My light broke, and so that's why you can't see me now, because the media mod attachment to my GoPro has broken. The camera can't really pick this up, but it's 10 o'clock in the PM and it's sleeting very, very lightly outside. I'll show you the tent here. You can easily see it on the tent. So you can tell it's definitely below freezing out. Might be able to kind of see it. We're lucky the winds aren't high right now, or it'd be really cold. Be really cold, so we're pretty thankful for that. I don't know if I should maybe stake this one out before I go to sleep. Wouldn't it be a horrible idea? Probably gonna be awake for about another hour before we hit the hay here. It's pretty cold anywhere but by this fire. Hey, how's it going, folks? Time is about 10:30. It's officially dropped below 30 degrees. It's definitely cold out. We're sitting behind this tree, kind of huddled up, trying to stay out of this wind because there's just not a whole lot of cover out here. We are huddled by the fire. It's definitely keeping us warm, hoping to conserve our body heat, but it's not really keeping up, and it could definitely be a lot stronger than it is. So we're probably going to be going into the hammock in about half an hour. I'm going to stick it out just a little bit longer. I've got pretty much everything out here packed up because we're not going to be sticking around when we get up tomorrow, because it's going to be sleeting and freezing rain, so it's going to be really cold. But I'll be fine. We'll have the camera, everything, all the gear, we'll have it under the tarp, packed up, ready to go. So this is kind of a camp location, and then we got our sleeping location out there. Time is about 11 p.m. and it is cold out. That's the last of the fire. We did a bit of a check here. I don't see anything left behind at this spot. I've dismantled everything. I have a little bit of firewood left, so it ended up being about perfect. I think we'll be ready to go to the hammock. Alright, folks, we're getting in. Time to test this underquilt. We'll see if we can make it through without the pad. Here we go. First time hammock camping with an underquilt. Gonna be a little claustrophobic in there, I think. But it's alright. It'll be good. Looks okay. Setup looks okay to me. Good morning, guys. Good morning. We are under attack by the rains. It's coming down pretty good out here. So I'm out of the hammock, and my plan is to get everything packed up and get it in my bag. And the last thing we'll do is pack the tarp. Then we got about a mile hike out of here. So it's gonna be wet and very cold. It's high 30s right now. So this is practically freezing rain, just without the freezing part. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Overall, the under-quilt did keep me warm. It got me through the night, and I was able to sleep without being woken up cold. However, it was still slightly chilly. I am not gonna lie about that. It was slightly chilly, but would I use it again? I would, because I got excellent sleep. Without having to use a sleeping pad inside that hammock, it was extraordinarily comfortable. So I did get an excellent sleep, but the 40-degree limit on this underquilt wasn't enough to, well, it was enough, but it could have been warmer, but it was only rated for 40 degrees and I used it under that, so like, what can I expect? Anyways, we're gonna get to this bag packed and get out of here. Okay, the rain's let off a little bit out here. That's where our fire was. The rain came back. Almost got everything packed up, but I just need to get the tarp down now. It is freezing rain out here, folks, so we are going to be hightailing it. I'm doing a final sweep, make sure I got everything, and we're out. We're out. We need to snake our way over to the right here, but this valley is just nasty. Super nasty. Not going to be easy to get through any of that. So we're not going to be able to go that way. We're going to have to go around. I found a promising deer trail here. Try this out. This looks like the most mellow drop we've seen yet, so we're gonna take it. Gonna see if we can snake sideways a bit. Yep, prevent us from sliding if possible. I'm not liking the looks of this. I was getting a bit lost, but I found the blaze orange. This is a beautiful oak tree here. Massive oak tree. Looked like it had been on fire at one point. What a beautiful time of year. Look at everything coming alive even though it's cold. Found that pond. I'm just walking around out here, just amazed at the absolute beauty I'm witnessing. Just gorgeous. Look at that beautiful oak tree just poking out in the distance there. A lumbering menace among the other trees. I love the giant trees that are sticking out of here. Really tall ones. Getting close to our car. It's freezing snow. Freezing rain, sleet. It's snowing. I'll be darned, it is full on snowing. Okay, folks, so we made it back to the car and we're out of here. I want to thank you so much for joining me in another adventure out here in the woods. The cold season's going to be coming to an end not too long after this. I'll try my best to get out here some more before that ends. Cold weather camping is and always will be my favorite form of camping. Where's my car? Huh. Car's gone. I'm lucky that I have good outdoor clothes on because these conditions are actually pretty serious. They're very serious. You can die very easily in weather like this without proper warmth and shelter. So, hoping maybe my car is just like down the street. Sorry, went back into the woods to go to the next parking lot over. Okay, I just found the car. We're good. We're fine. False alarm. We're fine. All right, peace out, guys. I'm out.